Welcome to SuperDavedev. This is the Formula One race day, as they say. Sunday is race day. I'm a little bit late, but here we are. Better late than never. Lewis Hamilton leads. Verstappen second. He just passed Leclerc. I would say Leclerc just doesn't have the car, and it was just lucky with the crash that happened yesterday that no one could actually out-qualify him. Almost the same situation that happened in Monte Carlo. This time he wasn't the one that crashed at the end. So what is happening? Verstappen is chasing down Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton's in first position. Charles Leclerc, which qualified first, is now in third position. Actually, fourth position. Interesting. Sergio Perez is in third position. That's nice. Seems that Leclerc is having some issues. Leclerc is having some performance issues. He can't keep up with the leaders, and he can't really do much. How close they get to that wall, that's insane. Mercedes says Mercedes is now informing, Lewis Hamilton's informing Mercedes paddock, his team, that he's having problems with his nose. This might mean that Verstappen is 1 second. So I just saw that Perez passed Leclerc. Fastest lap is Perez, 1 minute 47.047. Sorry, 046 actually. So it seems like Lewis Hamilton's having some, let's say, balancing issues with his front wing. And I think, and also Christian Horner has just informed Verstappen that Lewis Hamilton has got some issues. So let's see if Verstappen can capitalize, because that's actually what's happening now. We are just waiting to see if Lewis Hamilton can actually capitalize in this situation. If Verstappen can capitalize over Lewis Hamilton, seeing that Lewis Hamilton is saying that he doesn't have front wing. There's something wrong with the front of his car. If it's downforce, I'm not sure what it is, but he's having some issues. Some balancing wing downforce or some traction issues. So Lewis Hamilton is still in the lead. Verstappen is still behind Lewis Hamilton. We're just hoping that Verstappen can actually do something. Hello, Mr. Benja1559. Welcome to the channel. They're eagerly trying to see if Max Verstappen can ultimately close the gap even further to Lewis Hamilton and actually potentially pass him. We do not know. They're showing Gasly in fifth. Gasly in fifth is about to position himself for a pass on Leclerc. Only 1 second behind Leclerc. Gasly Pierre Gasly is only 1 second behind Leclerc in a Ferrari. So Leclerc is doing really badly with that Ferrari, and I'm pretty sure it's because of the Ferrari's performance. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen because I still believe that Mercedes is so much faster than that they're actually showing, and I'm pretty sure every time they mention some information over a radio, like, oh, we don't have proper downforce, like something that can put them in a very bad position, something that could be utilized by other teams to try and take advantage. I still feel Mercedes is fully aware of that, and I don't think they have any. So Leclerc went into the pits, he came out, and it seemed like he had some kind of traction issues already. He had new rubber. Now, of course, it could just mean that the wheels are too cold, which is most likely the only reason why he had a problem. So let's just recap quickly. What is the standings right now? Lewis Hamilton leads Max Verstappen by less than a second. So Max Verstappen is pretty close. Now Max Verstappen is now also leading his teammates. Sergio Perez is in third position. This is probably the best position that Sergio Perez was in using that Red Bull machinery underneath him. Perez is about 2 seconds, almost 3 seconds behind Max Verstappen. Then you've got Pierre Gasly, who just passed Charles Leclerc. Pierre Gasly just passed Charles Leclerc, he's in 4th. Carlos Sainz, Ferrari, is in 5th. Sebastian Vettel is in 6th. Oh, that's pretty cool. Sebastian Vettel is in 6th position. Valtteri Bottas in 7th. All the way down in 7th. And then Daniel Ricciardo is just behind Valtteri Bottas in 8th. If you don't know this, Daniel Ricciardo had a crash in qualifying yesterday. And then Lando Norris just made a move on Fernando Alonso. Lando Norris just made a move on Fernando Alonso in 13th position. So let's go back. So Daniel Ricciardo crashed yesterday, qualifying, he's in 8th position. Lance Stroll is in 9th. Actually, Lance Stroll... Wait, something is happening. Someone is passing someone. I think Leclerc made passes on... Or they just went into the pits. Oh, okay, fine. So Carlos Sainz went into the pits, and that's causing all sorts of grid shifts here. So Charles Leclerc is behind Daniel Ricciardo, Kimi Räikkönen is behind Charles Leclerc, Yuki Tsunoda is in 11th position, and then Lando Norris is in 12th position. Fernando Alonso is 13th, Antonio Giovinazzi, Alfa Romeo is in 14th, Carlos Sainz in 15th, Ferrari, George Russell in 16th, Nicholas Latifi in 17th, and Mick Schumacher in 18th. Hamilton in the pits. Hamilton's pit stop was 4.6 seconds. Pierre Gasly also went into the pits. This is 2.5 seconds. So they say that Lewis Hamilton lost 2 seconds at the pit stop. Comparing it to AlphaTauri, which is the sister team of Red Bull Racing. Lewis Hamilton just came up behind. Why is it? Oh, so he's lapping them, I think. Interesting. Perez still has the fastest lap. Perez still has the fastest lap. I almost said Pierre Gasly. Vettel is in 3rd position. Who would have ever believed that Vettel would get near? Showing Carlos Sainz in the replay. Carlos Sainz had a problem. Oh, that is why Carlos Sainz went down. Carlos Sainz missed his entry and he decided to go straight on because he was scared he was going to crash. So Carlos Sainz completely lost his momentum and his cornering and decided to rather move the car in a position that he won't crash, and that meant he can no longer, keep his position, and that's why he lost all. I thought he went into the pits actually. Carlos Sainz in 15th position. Fastest lap from Sergio Perez, 1 minute 46.800. Vettel went into the pits. Verstappen went into the pits. He came out in front of Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen went into the pits, came in front of Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen went into the pits and actually gained the position on Lewis Hamilton. Perfect. Hamilton's stop was 4.6 seconds. And of course, Lewis Hamilton's not very happy. Team radio, he's asking why is Verstappen so far ahead of him. He was told that it's because of his stop, which is pretty bad, to be honest with you, because they messed that up for him. But I would not be surprised if eventually they would actually. Sergio Perez is pushing his car to the limit. Sergio Perez is currently leading the race, and he's pushing that car, dude. He is really pushing that car. Sergio Perez went into the pits. Sergio Perez also lost 2 seconds in the pit stop. Same with Lewis Hamilton, was over 4 seconds a pit stop. Lewis Hamilton got the fastest lap, 1 minute 46.6, and still ended up behind Sergio Perez. How is that even possible, dude? I'm surprised, man. I am surprised. I don't know why, even with Sergio Perez basically having the same time of a pit stop, same bad, slow pit stop, he still ended up in front of Lewis Hamilton. That means that performance-wise, Red Bull is still reasonably fast enough. Now remember one thing, I want you guys to understand this. Flexi wings. Flexi wings is the big thing. Flexi wings is the big thing that's keeping Red Bull afloat. In the next Grand Prix, in the French Grand Prix, Red Bull, Verstappen will no longer be able to have their flexi wings, as it will be banned. It is banned from the next race. So this race they have allowed it, and guess what? Even Mercedes implemented flexi wings just for this one specific race, because I do not want to give Red Bull any advantage at all. So fastest lap for Max Verstappen, 1 minute 46.1, almost 1 minute 46 dead. Almost 1 minute 46 dead. That's almost half a second faster than Lewis Hamilton's fastest lap. So So Lewis Hamilton has to try and pass Sergio Perez. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Sergio Perez making sure that he is there for the team, keeping Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion, behind him, while Verstappen is in front of him, his teammate, making sure that he holds it down for his team. This is what we all wanted to see from Sergio Perez, and guess what? He's delivering it. This is awesome. This is really nice. Great stuff. Sergio Perez is behind Verstappen. Verstappen leads. Sergio Perez. Oh wait, Vettel is still in the front. Oh, how can I forget that? Oh yeah. So Vettel is yet to come into the pits. Hamilton is complaining that Sergio Perez has got more rear end grip. More rear end grip from Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez just put out the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 45.8. Vettel is still in the lead, but technically he needs to come into the pit lane, so he's just leading on borrowed time. He won't be there for much longer. Verstappen is second, 3 seconds behind Vettel. Remember, this is after they've pitted. Vettel hasn't even pitted yet. Vettel is literally just trying to relive his previous bygone era where he used to lead. No longer the case for him. Perez is in 3rd position. Hamilton is in 4th position. I'm looking at Daniel Ricciardo replay. He passed. Who did he pass? Fernando Alonso. So Ricciardo passed Fernando Alonso on the pit straights. So Fernando Alonso's car isn't that fast. So it's called the Alpha Tauri, right? I believe his team is called the Alpha Tauri. They are not doing that well, unfortunately. Performance-wise, of course, performance-wise. So let's just look at the standings. Sebastian Vettel is in 1st. He hasn't yet pitted. Max Verstappen 2nd, Sergio Perez 3rd, Lewis Hamilton 4th, Lance Stroll 5th, Pierre Gasly 6th, 7th Charles Leclerc, which Charles Leclerc qualified 1st. How, like, so strange. Yuki Tsunoda 8th, Lando Norris 9th, Valtteri Bottas 10th. I'm assuming Valtteri Bottas went in for a pit and Lando Norris is yet to pit. I'm assuming, however, I might be wrong. But Valtteri Bottas does not seem to be in a very good spot. Dan Ricciardo is 11th, Fernando Alonso 12th, Antonio Giovinazzi 13th, Carlos Sainz 14th, Kimi Räikkönen 15th, George Russell 16th, Nicholas Latifi 17th, Mick Schumacher 18th, and then Mazepin in 19th. Hamilton just put up the fastest lap of the race. Nice. So it is definitely Verstappen. I mean, Lewis Hamilton is not trying to make it easy for Red Bull to win this race. Verstappen might be in front after Vettel will pit. I'm not sure how long Vettel will drive because ultimately he needs to come in. He's losing time. Vettel in front is losing time to Verstappen chasing up on him, and he hasn't even pitted. So at this point, it's just basically just pits. But maybe he's going for a one-stopper, and that is maybe why he's doing what he's doing. However, I doubt it's going to mean much to him when it comes to being top 3, because you will not be able to do that, unfortunately. So the tire age of Lewis Hamilton is 5 laps. Lewis Hamilton 320 kilometers an hour. 319 kilometers an hour, 198 miles per hour. So Hamilton is pushing Perez. Hamilton is definitely trying to get past Perez. We don't know, Hamilton is in fourth. However, Vettel leads, but Vettel still has to pit. So technically, Verstappen is in first if Vettel pits eventually. And then Perez is in second, and then Hamilton is in third. So basically, this is your top three. Your top three is Verstappen, Perez, Hamilton. Hamilton is trying to get past Perez, and ultimately, Verstappen is just trying to get away from Perez and Hamilton in the lead. Valtteri Bottas in 10th place, not sure why his Mercedes is doing so badly. Norris in 9th position. If you're wondering why Norris is so far behind, it's because he got a penalty yesterday for ignoring red flags. That's during qualifying. Leclerc is in 7th position. I just feel bad for Leclerc because he did such a good job at qualifying. Then there was red flags because of all the cars crashing, so all the cars couldn't actually, actually prioritize or so it sounds like who's coming into the pits? So Vettel finally went into the pits. Finally, Vettel went into the pits. Lewis Hamilton is behind Sergio Perez, and I can tell you now, Lewis Hamilton is all over Sergio Perez's Red Bull, trying to get past him because he knows that Max Verstappen is going to get away. Max Verstappen will get away. Perez is 3 seconds behind Verstappen. Hamilton is less than half a second behind Perez. If you have any questions regarding any other drivers, just feel free to mention it in the comments. I can help out with what's happening. Lewis Hamilton looks like he might actually attempt a pass on Sergio Perez. Lewis Hamilton looks like he might actually attempt a pass on Sergio Perez. So there was a message about 3 laps ago. 3 laps ago, Max Verstappen was given a message by his race engineer telling him that he can push his car in to a specific specification. However, if he does, let's say make a human error, that might be the end of his race, of course. So basically what they told him is, push your car, this is a very critical time of the race. However, it is more important for you to keep the car in one piece, so do not crash. It is an important part of the race. However, make sure that you do not crash the car. That's the most important thing. However, if you can increase the speed, then please do so. That is what he basically told him, if you have to translate it. Damn, dude. I'm barely getting picture. They're showing that Lewis Hamilton might end second. Oh, sorry, they're showing his World Championship. They're showing him being second in the World Championship with 117 points if he finishes in his 3rd position currently. Okay, so there is some comments saying that Perez is holding back Lewis Hamilton, so Lewis Hamilton can't get to Verstappen. The funny thing is, Sergio Perez is not losing time on Verstappen. Sergio Perez is more or less within a second or so of, which is 3 seconds. So in a margin of a second, he keeps his 3 seconds behind Max Verstappen. Bottas is now in 10th position. They're showing that he's about to attempt a pass on Lando Norris. So Bottas is attempting a pass on Lando Norris. I would say, specifically with this course, I think it's going to be tougher for Bottas, because I don't think Norris is someone you can underestimate, especially if you looked at his performance in Monte Carlo. He is a very focused, very sharp driver. He is probably the best suited for this type of course, where if you lose your attention, then you lose your car. Your car will become a pile of junk in a crash, of course. Lewis Hamilton still has the fastest lap of the race so far. Hamilton is pulling back a little bit. He's not trying to get as close to Perez's rear of his car. It might be to do with the fact that he's heating up his car, maybe. There's so many reasons that Lewis Hamilton might be deciding to keep 1 second, or just pushing back his car just a little bit more. Bottas is still on the hunt to see if he could pass Lando Norris. I personally do not believe that Bottas will pass Lando Norris. Why do I say that? Because first of all, even if he passes Lando Norris will then use the slipstream to try and retake it. And trust me when I say this, Lando Norris is a very young kid, very sharp, very, like, if you ever want to know why it's so difficult for older drivers to keep up with the young drivers, it just comes down to reflexes, being able to react quicker. And trust me, on this track, it's like Monte Carlo. If you make one mistake, you're in a wall. And that's why I think Lando Norris will definitely not let Bottas get far ultimately. We have Carlos Sainz trying to pass Antonio Giovinazzi of the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi. This is the battle for 13th position. Carlos Sainz trying to pass Antonio Giovinazzi. He passed him, he passed. So Carlos Sainz passed him, but man, that was so tight. So close to the wall, it looks actually very dangerous. I actually expected Carlos Sainz to go straight into the wall, to be honest. At that corner, I thought Carlos Sainz would go into the wall as he was turning, because it just seemed like he didn't have necessarily all the traction he wanted. So Carlos saying made it stick is up into 13th position. Daniel Ricciardo 11th, Valtteri Bottas 10th, Lando Norris 9th. I'm wondering if Valtteri Bottas will actually get past Lando Norris, but I do know that even if he does, Lando Norris will definitely hunt him down. So that would be a proper fight if Valtteri Bottas decides to pass Lando Norris. Hamilton says that he's not. So we just found out that Lewis Hamilton is not. He's not pushing. He's not pulling back from Perez because he doesn't want his car to get warm. No, he can't keep up with Perez. He can't keep up with Perez. Perez has just increased. Perez has just put up the fastest lap of the race. That is one thing I'm saying, is that if people think that Perez is slowing down Hamilton not to get to Verstappen, that's impossible, because guess what? Verstappen is still only 3 seconds in front of Perez, and that's how it's been the whole race approximately. And Hamilton is now 2 seconds behind Perez. I just feel like I have to say this. I have to say one thing, and that is that I do not like that the English commentating team is predominantly British. They are hired by Sky Sports and they are mainly British contracted. Okay, so Valtteri Bottas made a massive mistake and trying to catch up to Lando Norris. Valtteri Bottas made a massive mistake and is losing ground and is now ultimately Bottas is ultimately almost 3 seconds behind Norris. So he lost about 2 seconds just from that mistake that he made. Nikita Mazepin almost made a crash, almost crashed. Nikita Mazepin almost made a crash. It seems like he's taking this meme very seriously, that doesn't want to be that meme that crashes a lot, so he's decided that instead of crashing, he would rather drive the slowest race of his existence. He is 35 seconds behind the second last person. Like, he is in his own race. He has no intention of getting even remotely competitive with the people in front of him, the drivers in front of him. Showing Nikita Mazepin, he went into a corner, lost grip, and then he decided to reverse and just correct himself. So Verstappen, so fastest lap is Verstappen 1 minute 45.4, 1 minute 45.4, Max Verstappen fastest lap. Perez is still only 3 point something seconds behind. He might go to 4 seconds, but he's still 3 seconds behind. Behind Verstappen. Hamilton is 2.6 seconds behind Perez. He has already complained that he cannot keep up with Perez and that he has to slow down because he cannot keep up with the pace of Perez. So I just wanted to re-emphasize the fact that I just to quickly touch on it again. I do not understand why the English-speaking commentators has to be predominantly British. I do not understand it. That is not fair. How many? There's so many English-speaking, Formula One connoisseurs, Formula One experienced personnel that they could hire to have a more diverse, a more international, inclusive Formula One, commentary team, but they decide to go all British, and unfortunately that just means that you have a biased. Even if they pretend that they are not biased, they will ultimately be biased, regardless of their, non-biased act. Nikita Mazepin got lapped. Remember, Nikita Mazepin is 40 seconds behind second last. Like, Nikita Mazepin is just driving to save the fact that he doesn't want to crash. Like, he is not racing, he's literally just driving not to crash. Like, I don't know why he's even racing, because he's not racing. He's literally just driving around the track, trying not to crash his car. That is all he's doing. Hamilton is also just about to pass Nikita Mazepin. You never know. With these rookie drivers, anything can happen, man. If they're behind you or in front of you, they might actually cause you more damage than you would actually realize, like driving into you, maybe. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Carlos Sainz is about to pull up on Fernando Alonso. Carlos Sainz just passed Fernando Alonso. Carlos Sainz passed Fernando Alonso. Guess who is making some racing coming from Vettel. Sebastian Vettel is slowly but surely coming closer to Leclerc. Now, of course, we already know that Leclerc is having some form of, car problem. If it's just to do with the car just being uncompetitive, or maybe there's something else that happened with the car. However, Vettel is slowly but surely coming up to the back of Charles Leclerc. So, if you're wondering why Lewis Hamilton has not been pitted for new tires to see if he could actually improve his performance, is because he only has hard tires. So this weekend, Mercedes has only provisioned one extra hard tire for the main race for Lewis Hamilton. And even if they decide to pit him with the hard tires, guess what? This time Red Bull has come prepared. Red Bull, both on Perez and both on Verstappen, both have medium set of tires. So even if Lewis Hamilton pitted for extra, for brand new hard tires, and then Verstappen went to the pits on medium tires, and Sergio Perez went into the pits for medium tires, Hamilton will not be able to compete with their performance in this race specifically. I'm just going to re-emphasize that maybe they would be able to win this race, and maybe Mercedes have no chance of beating Red Bull fairly and squarely in this race. But trust me when I say this, next race, French Grand Prix, with the ban of flexi wings, Red Bull will no longer be comparable to Mercedes. that is going to be the sad reality that we're going to have to face in the next race. And ultimately that's going to prove that Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton has ultimately won this year's Formula 1 Drivers Constructors Championships. Unfortunately, it's going to be boring. I would have liked Red Bull to be competitive. However, seeing that they had to use some tricks to be competitive, you can actually understand why they did it, because they felt like there was an opportunity for them to do what they needed to do. However, ultimately, the fact that they thought that no one will catch up to it, especially with how competitive teams are, it's quite shocking that they didn't realize that using a gimmick like Flexi Wings will ultimately, you know, people will see it, and ultimately that will become a problem for them. Unless they were just trying to buy themselves more time. Maybe that's what they were trying to do. Finally, Verstappen has built a lead over Perez. Finally, Verstappen has a 6-second lead over Perez. 6-second lead over Perez. Perez is second. Hamilton is in third. Hamilton is still 2.2 seconds behind Perez. However, Verstappen is definitely building his lead slowly, very slowly, painfully slowly. Stroll is in 4th position for Aston Martin. Interesting. Because Leclerc is no longer there, because Sainz is no longer there, now the Aston Martin of Stroll is now in 4th position. Gasly is in 5th position. Leclerc is in 6th. Vettel is in 7th. Now, Gasly, Leclerc, Vettel, they're all in a battle right now to see who will pass who and who will ultimately take 5th position. 5th position currently is for Gasly. Leclerc is in 6th position. Vettel is in 7th. However, they are all so close to each other that there will be some adjustment there. Someone might pass someone. Gasly hasn't done so badly this weekend, so there is a very good chance that Gasly might hold on to his position. However, I think Vettel actually might pass Leclerc. Gasly has an issue with his car. Gasly has an issue with his car. Lance Stroll had an accident. Lance Stroll had an accident. Lance Stroll had an accident. He hit the wall. His car is... Oh, man. The only driver that hadn't pitted, I think he didn't have enough grip. And that ultimately caused him to make a... Made a big mistake because of his car not having much grip. Safety car is out, safety car is out. Safety car, pit lane entry closed. Pit lane entry closed because of poor Stroll hitting the wall, because he was on his used tires for so long. He had to come in, and unfortunately that didn't really help him much, because he's done. Car is done, he is done, race is over. So Vettel moves up into 6th, Leclerc is still in 5th, Yuki Tsunoda is in 7th, Lando Norris in 8th, Bottas in 9th, Ricciardo 10th, Carlos Sainz 11th, Alonso 12th, Giovinazzi is in 13th, Raikkonen is in 14th, George Russell is in 15th, Latifi in 16th, Mick Schumacher is in 17th, and Mazepin is in 19th. I think Stroll should have focused on getting his car to the pits, and unfortunately being so competitive, trying to keep up with the drivers in front of him. So actually he lost control on the straight. Lance lost his car on a straight. It was a tire, yeah. So the left rear tire of Stroll exploded and that caused him to crash on the straight. Okay, so we're just waiting for the race to resume. There's a safety car because Lance Stroll's left rear tire exploded and then caused him to go into the barriers. Waiting for safety car to end, so the safety car period to end, so he could actually see the race continue again. Lance Stroll's Lawrence Stroll. Lance Stroll's father is actually part of the team, and he actually went over to his son to find out if he's actually okay or not. They say it might be a very long safety car period because ultimately they have to clear all the debris, they have to get rid of all the crashed particles that could cause more damage for the drivers, especially trying to remove the car itself. Waiting for the race to restart. It's now safety car period. The funny thing is the safety car is a Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton admitting that he would not be able to be competitive, trying to overtake the two Red Bull cars in front of him, because remember he's in third. Verstappen's Red Bull's in first, and Sergio Perez's Red Bull's in second. Lewis Hamilton is in third. Ultimately, he's saying that his car does not have the performance on the straights to do much. However, I do want to mention that when this, I wonder why is the safety car a Mercedes? So this weekend the safety car is a Mercedes, but as far as I know, the safety car is supposed to be an Aston Martin, and now it's not. I'm so curious. Something happened, because it used to be an Aston Martin at the start of this championship. Start of the season, they advertised Aston Martin safety cars, and now it's a Mercedes. That's quite odd. We are trying to wait for the safety car to go in. We're waiting for the safety car to go in. It's a safety car period because Lance Stroll had an accident. His left rear tire exploded on a straight before the pit lane, and he went into the wall because the car started to swerve out of control. Couldn't control it because of the left rear wheel exploding. So we're waiting for the safety car to get in, trying to remove the car. They're trying to clear up the debris, and it's taking a little bit of time. Fernando Alonso is putting up soft tires on his car. I believe they can actually pit now. So all the cars that were lapped can now unlap themselves. All the cars that were lapped can now unlap themselves. Very shortly we will have we're just having a look at all the cars going into the pits now. All the cars are going into the pits to do tire changes. The front runners most likely will not change their tires. Max Verstappen is being told by Christian Horner to get his temperature in the tires up as quickly as possible, because the race will resume. The race will resume very shortly after we have several laps behind the safety car. Because why do we have a safety car? Lance Stroll had a crash at the pit straight. His left rear tire exploded and his car literally swerved all over the place on a straight. So that is what actually happened there. Lewis Hamilton is about to pass Sergio Perez. Lewis Hamilton was almost about to pass Sergio Perez at the start, dude. Vettel is in 5th place. Vettel is actually in 4th place. Vettel pushed himself into 4th place. Gasly took back the position from Vettel. This is crazy, dude. This is crazy. So Perez did a very good job keeping Hamilton behind him. Hamilton's in 3rd position, Verstappen's in 1st, Perez 2nd, Hamilton 3rd, Gasly in 4th. Gasly was overtook by Vettel, and then ultimately Gasly took back his position. Leclerc is behind Vettel, which is in 6th. Yuki Tsunoda is in 7th. Lando Norris in 8th. Carlos Sainz in 9th. Ricciardo in 10th. Alonso 11th. Raikkonen 12th. Bottas in 13th position, dude. Bottas did really badly, dude. Giovinazzi is in 14th. Nicholas Latifi is in 15th. George Russell is in 16th. Mick Schumacher is in 17th. Mazepin is in 18th. Vettel is about to pass Gasly for 4th position. Vettel went past Gasly for 4th position. So there's an actual fight between Gasly and Vettel for 4th position. Maybe Vettel might be able to catch Hamilton. There's a very slight chance that Vettel might catch Hamilton in 3rd position. The reason why Vettel is doing so well is because his tires are much younger. His tires only have 18 laps. Lewis Hamilton's tires have... So they're showing Sebastian Vettel past Leclerc, and then he went past Gasly as well. Valtteri Bottas was overtaken by Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen overtaking his countryman Valtteri Bottas. So we are trying to see if ultimately Vettel will be able to catch up to Lewis Hamilton and make this race more interesting. I'm just going to be honest with you, if Vettel doesn't catch up to Lewis Hamilton and try and attempt to pass Lewis Hamilton, this race is not going to be very interesting. I'm just going to be honest. The rest of this race, the start of this race was okay. But Lewis Hamilton can't do anything. Lewis Hamilton can't try and pass Sergio Perez. He tried to do it at the restart, but Sergio Perez just seemed to know exactly how to position his car properly. Hamilton is attempting to do a pass on Sergio Perez. Hamilton is attempting to do a pass. Hamilton fastest lap 1 minute 45.2. Fastest lap 1 minute 45.2. .37.1 per sector for Verstappen, which means that he's most likely going to have the fastest lap of the race so far. Antonio Giovinazzi, a Alfa Romeo car, just passed Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas. Max Verstappen fastest lap 1 minute 45.1. Vettel is faster in did a faster lap this lap, which is lap 40. He did a faster lap on the 40th lap of this race, which is about 11 laps to the end. So before the end, 11 laps before the end, Vettel is basically faster. I don't know why I'm so flustered, but I'm shocked that Vettel is showing some kind of competitiveness as he has shown. Now, of course, it's because of his tires being newer, and it's very interesting to see that Vettel might actually be able to catch up to Hamilton. Fastest lap from Max Verstappen 1 minute 44.8. Okay, so Hamilton is 2.3 seconds in front of Vettel, and Perez, Hamilton is 1.5 seconds behind Sergio Perez. If you don't know this, Max Verstappen is leading the race. He's got the fastest lap so far. Perez is just behind him in second place. Hamilton is not in second. Hamilton's in third place. He cannot get past the Red Bull of Sergio Perez. Vettel somehow did a magical start when the safety car got in, and somehow magically pushed himself into fourth position. Now, everybody thought that Vettel has got enough pace because his tires are almost 7 laps younger than Hamilton's tires. We thought that Vettel might be able to push Hamilton. However, Vettel actually is falling back, to be honest. Lando Norris is having issue with his front right tire. Lando Norris is having a problem with his front right tire. He's still pushing the hell out of that car, even after he has told his team that he's having vibration errors. So Lando Norris is telling his team he's got a massive vibration from his tires. It looks a lot like his front right tire that might be causing the vibration, and you can actually see him drive it so fast that it looks like the tire might actually pop off, which, you know, it might explode, which I hope it doesn't. I hope he you know what, he is driving the hell out of that car. I'm not sure if he would actually let down. Completely his choice. Lewis Hamilton fastest lap of the race, 1:44.7. We are seeing history repeat itself. We're seeing that George Russell is about to pass Valtteri Bottas. I really hope that Valtteri Bottas is not going to make it hard for George Russell to pass him this time. I'm very suspicious of what happened at Imola between Bottas and George Russell, and I'm pretty sure that Russell was being forced was purposefully, it was made harder for him to pass Bottas, and that's why the crash happened at Imola. It was an unnecessary situation. I do believe that Bottas is somehow to blame, and that is my personal opinion. I just hope it doesn't happen now. I just hope that because of the frustration that Bottas is feeling, he doesn't do the same thing and cause Russell and himself another accident. Fastest lap from Max Verstappen, 1 minute 44.4. So it seems like Hamilton and Verstappen is actually battling to see who can put the fastest lap before the end of the race. Raikkonen is behind Fernando Alonso. I don't know why I'm messing up Lando Norris with Fernando Alonso, but it's kind of a tongue twister. So Fernando Alonso is being chased by Raikkonen. Raikkonen is very close behind Alonso and might actually pass him. So the current standings of the World Championship, Max Verstappen, if he finishes in first, will be 131 points. If Hamilton finishes in third, he will be 116 points, second in the championship. We were hoping to see Vettel battle Hamilton. Unfortunately, that will not come to fruition, and unfortunately, we were expecting too much from Lewis Hamilton being a champion, a world champion, a former world champion. Max Verstappen crashed. Max Verstappen crashed. Max Verstappen crashed. Max Verstappen crashed. He's no longer in first place. Max Verstappen crashed. Oh my goodness. A tire failure on Max Verstappen caused his car to crash. The tire exploded on Max Verstappen's car. Exactly what happened to Lance Stroll happened to Max Verstappen. Yeah, Max Verstappen is heartbroken. He's hitting the car. He's like sitting on the car. He's not sure what to do. So it's left rear tires. I can't believe it, dude. Max Verstappen kicking the exploded tire. Christian Horner looks like he's wiping tears from his eyes. So we went on the straight, and then all of a sudden, damn. Max Verstappen was trying to manhandle that car. Max Verstappen was trying to... Yeah, the tire failed. So ultimately his left rear tire just lost pressure completely. Damn, Max Verstappen. Oh my goodness. Max Verstappen did everything he had to do in this race. This is exactly what Formula 1 is. If you haven't watched Formula 1, this is exactly what Formula 1 is. It is very, very unpredictable, very harsh, merciless. Like, it doesn't care who you are or what is going on. It doesn't matter if you're in the championship lead. That is why winning a championship in Formula 1 is actually always... It's just something that you can't always control. The words being used is that the Red Bull team is shocked. They're in disbelief that this has happened. It's not like Verstappen was made a mistake. It is that the wheel decided it doesn't want to have pressure anymore. Session stopped. The race is red flagged. Damn, this is sad, man. Max Verstappen did everything he needed to do to win the race, and he's left rear tire said, sorry bro, you are not gonna finish this race in first. Sorry bro, I no longer have air, you're over. You will no longer be in this race. I think the race is done. I don't see why they would start the race from the pit lane. So the race has been red flagged, under investigation for car 6 and under investigation. Okay, we all know the left rear tire just exploded. Like it basically lost pressure immediately. When it was braking, there was no grip on the tire, the car couldn't slow down, he had to crash. That is what happened ultimately. Like, Max Verstappen kicked that tire, man. Damn, man. I just do not believe. Okay, so that is good because Sergio Perez has won the race then. Sergio Perez has won the race. Ultimately, that is what this means. Sergio Perez has won the race. Max Verstappen didn't do anything wrong. Unfortunately, that is exactly why you can never let anything up to chance in Formula 1. If you do not double check, triple check, if you're not paranoid in Formula 1, then you are not in the right sport, because if you do not think what could happen, then those things that you think might never happen will actually happen. And you will ultimately lose because you did not foresee and you did not plan ahead. And that's what Formula 1 is. Like me personally, I've watched Formula 1 so many years now. And I used to be a massive Mika Häkkinen fan. And I'm not sure if you guys know this, Mercedes used to exclusively provide engines to McLaren in the past. And Mercedes engines weren't that good. They were not that good in the past. And Mika Häkkinen had several races where he could not even race because his engine will just explode. He would be in the front of the pack and his engine will just blow up. And he would not be able to actually do a race. Okay, so Christian Horner is now discussing, having a meeting with his team, and saying that it has to be the same issue that Lance Stroll had with his left rear tire losing pressure. This is what I'm saying, is that Formula 1 is merciless, dude. I've watched it. When I watched Mika Häkkinen's engine, there was one race where Mika Häkkinen had 2 laps remaining, almost the same situation as Verstappen now, and his engine blew up 2 laps towards the end. His engine blew up 2 laps towards the end. They're now fixing Lewis Hamilton's front wing. Is that Lewis Hamilton or is that Bottas's front wing? Trying to see the 4.4 or the 7.7 to see which car it is. So basically what's happening now is Pirelli tires are now seen as a hazard. rally tires are seeing as a as an actual hazard, because it could literally cause people to crash for no reason. Okay, I think that's gonna be it for this race. Like, I don't see anything else happening except the fact that Verstappen was robbed of the winning of this race. So it was red flagged purely because of the concerns they have with the tires, specifically what the tires do on the left rear tires. I'm going to be honest, this is the end of Max Verstappen's championship. This is the moment where everything slips away from Red Bull. And it's not because of the tire. They could have had the one today, I do agree with that, but unfortunately that did not happen. However, as soon as the flexi wings are banned, which is after this race, they will no longer be allowed to use flexi wings. There'll be more stricter rules for flexi wings. Red Bull's flexi wings, let's just say them trying to undermine the fact and trying to take advantage by using flexi wings has now been cut short. They will no longer be as competitive as they were. So all I'm going to say is that this is the end. This is done. Flexi wings are over. And Red Bull, in my opinion, will not even be able to compete with Mercedes 1-for-1 as they have been showing. And that is purely because of the fact that they had flexi wings. They no longer have that ace in the card, the ace in the sleeve. This is over. So I'm just mentioning this. I'm just making sure that this is very clear. That all I'm hoping is that somehow the engine manufacturing plant, because if you don't know this, Red Bull is actually planning on making their own engines. They have their own, engine producing plant, and I hope that they can actually produce an engine, upgrade their engine to actually get back up to speed with Mercedes. I doubt it because I know Mercedes will literally lose $1 billion or €1 billion or how much ever money, £1 billion, if they need to win. Whatever they do, money is not an option for Mercedes, and that is why I believe I have no hesitation that ultimately, even if Red Bull does upgrade their engine, I don't think Mercedes will allow them to be competitive again. Because Mercedes is just that good. They're just that competitive. Their engine is that powerful. The car is that well made. Their strategies are that good that Red Bull will no longer be able to catch up to them, because of they no longer have a flexi wing that can reach there. And ultimately it's done. The cars are actually going to resume, which is so interesting. This is so sad because this is probably the only race that Verstappen could actually win legitimately. The only race. And after this, it's going to be almost impossible for them to win the way that they have been doing. I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen. I just want to see if they ultimately call this call the race and say that the race is done, and if they actually make it that the standings will stay as it is currently without any need for more racing. I don't know. We have to wait and see. Just waiting to hear what they're going to say about the race. So I thought that the race would not be very exciting, but the fact that Verstappen crashed made it exciting. Yes, it made it sad. It made it a little bit more of a bittersweet ending, because basically Sergio Perez is now first, which is awesome for him. I am happy Sergio Perez isn't first, to be completely honest. Unfortunately, the sad thing is, I don't think that Red Bull will be in the same situation again. I do not believe it, unless if Mercedes crash. Unless if their cars have some catastrophic failure, then maybe Red Bull can capitalize, but I don't think they'll be this competitive again. Driver of the day is Vettel. Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez should be first. Max Verstappen can't be first because unfortunately his car left rear tire exploded, and now he's not even in the race. That is a sad fact. I'm just waiting to see. Like, there's so much tension now. They're all complaining about specific things happening, but ultimately I can't see them starting this race, dude. I can't see them starting the race. If they start the race, then I am sorry, but Lewis Hamilton is going to win this race, because trust me, Mercedes is going to make sure that that Lewis Hamilton has got some kind of rocket stuck to the back, so they could, put that with super glue and then just tell him to press the button so he could get past Perez just before the end. The Mercedes mechanics are working frantically. They are like mad scientists trying to do something to to Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes, and I don't know what they're doing. I'm not even sure if it's legal. Just waiting to see what's gonna happen. Like, I can't imagine them restarting the race. I can't imagine them restarting from the pit lane. I can't imagine it because 2 laps makes no sense to me. However, that does not mean that they won't complete the race. The race will resume in 15 minutes. So they will resume the race. I think I'm not going to be broadcast. I'm not going to be continuing to live stream. Like, at this point, one of two things are going to happen. Either Perez is going to finish first, or Hamilton will pass Perez just before the end. And so Hamilton will not lose his points. Hamilton actually gained because of this situation. Of course, the reason why, because Verstappen is no longer in the lead. He no longer has his 25 points, which ultimately means that Lewis Hamilton is going to lead the championship again. So no matter what happens, Lewis Hamilton will definitely lead the championship after this race. Even if they're just going to wait for 15 minutes or 10 minutes from now, then they're going to resume the race. It's still going to mean that Lewis Hamilton will still win the lead of the championship. Not winning the race yet, because Perez is still in first. But the chance of Lewis Hamilton, oh my god, I don't know why I'm so gassy. The chance of Lewis Hamilton actually being too much affected now, especially with Verstappen out of the way, is 0. So Lewis Hamilton is definitely in a good spot, and I think that's where we're gonna leave it. That's where we're gonna leave it. If you want to know what the actual results is, just wait for another 30 minutes and you will know exactly what the final results is after this live stream.